Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Make It Yourself. So in today's video we are going to learn how to make this mini Christmas tree. The pattern for this Christmas tree is very simple and you can change the size of the Christmas tree based on the number of rows that you plan to add. So the details for the yarn and the hook size will be available in the description, so do refer to the description section. So we're going to start off with the green yarn. We're going to first make a slip knot, and then we are going to chain 20. So for this changing the size of the tree, we are going to change the size of this initial foundation chain. So if you want a smaller Christmas tree, you can have any even number of chains which is less than 20, and if you want a larger Christmas tree, you can make a foundation chain which is greater than 20 and is a even number. So once you have done chaining 20, we are going to make extra 2 chain, and then on the third chain from the last we are going to make 1 double crochet. Now in the next chain also we are going to make 1 double crochet. So for this row the pattern will be 1 double crochet in each chain. So by the end of this row we should have a total of 20 double crochets. So here we are almost at the end of the chain. So we are making 1 double crochet in each of the chains. So this is the last chain and we are making 1 double crochet, and after this we are going to chain 1 and turn our work. So this step is going to be common for all. So now we are going to make 3 half double crochets in the front loop of each stitch. So this is the front loop. So every stitch has 2 loops. So here on the front loop we are going to make our first half double crochet, then we will make 1 more half double crochet in the front loop of the first stitch, and then the third half double crochet in the front stitch. So similarly into the second stitch also, only in the front loop we are going to make 3 half double crochets. So we'll be continuing this pattern till the end of this row. We will make 3 half double crochets in each of the stitches. We just have to make sure that we are making it in the front loop of each of the stitches. So here we have almost reached the end of the row. So as you can see, it has curled a bit, but you did not worry about it. As we add more rows, this curling will not happen anymore. So we have the last 3 more stitches left. So we are making 3 half double crochets in the front loop only. So make 3 more half double crochets into the second last stitch, and finally make 3 more half double crochets into the front loop of the last stitch. So once we are done with this, we are going to again chain one and turn our work. So we're going to chain one here and turn our work. Now once you turn your work, you will see that there is one more loop available. Since we worked only on the front loop, the back loop, which is now our front loop here, is available to make a stitch. So here we're going to make one double crochet on each of this loop. So you will be able to identify the loop, and into each of these loops you're going to make one double crochet. So since the base row had 20 stitches, so once we have completed this row, we will again have 20 double crochets, because we are not making any increase for this side of the row. So repeat this pattern till the end of this row. So here we are almost at the end of the row, and we have few more loops of the stitches left. So we are going to make one double crochet on each of them. And this is the last stitch for this row. So this is the back side, as you can see, and we have the curls on the other side. So we are going to chain one and turn our work again, and this time for this row we are going to start off by a decrease. So we're going to yarn over, and into the first stitch we're going to insert a hook, pull through, and we're going to pull through the first two loops alone. Then we are going to insert a hook into the next stitch and pull through, and then pull through the first two loops and then the last two loops. So here we have decreased, and you can see we have one stitch here now, one double crochet stitch. So into the next 16 stitches we are just going to make one double crochet in each of the stitches. So the pattern for this row is, we will be decreasing the first two stitches and we will be decreasing the last two stitches, and the middle stitches we are just going to make one double crochet on each of the stitches. So continue making the stitches till so here we are almost at the end of the row, and we have 3 stitches left. So we're making one double crochet on this one. Oh sorry, we have actually 4, so this one more double crochet on the stitch, and this is the last 2 stitch. So here we're going to make a decrease. So we insert into the first stitch, pull through 2 loops, and then again insert the hook into the last stitch, pull through the yarn and pull through first 2 loops and pull through next 2 loops. So here too we have made one decrease. So by the end of this round we should have a total of 18 double crochets. So we're going to chain one and turn our work, and now we're going to add the frill again, and the frill should always be on the same side. So the last time we had worked on the front loop only, but this time we'll be working on the back loop alone. So this is the back loop. So into each of the back loops of the stitches we're going to make 3 half double crochets. So here into the first stitch into the back loop we're making 3 half double crochets, and this is the third half double crochet. Similarly, into the next stitch, that too in the back loop alone, we are again making 3 double crochets. So this half double crochets that we are making, or the frills that we are making, once it will be on the front loop, and alternately the next time it will be on the back loop. So you can either remember this, or you just have to make sure that the frills are on the same side. So we will be continuing this pattern till the end of this row. Continue making 3 half double crochets in the back loop of each of the stitches. So here we are at the last stitch. So here too we are going to make 3 half double crochets, and once we are done with the half double crochets, we are going to chain one and turn our work. So now you can see that the other loop that is available, into that we are going to make 1 double crochet on each of the stitch. So immediately after making the frills, the next row will just be a simple row of 1 double crochet in each stitch. So each stitch meaning the loop that is available. So if you worked on the front loop, the back loop will be available, and if you worked on the back loop, the front loop will be available, and into that we are just going to make 1 double crochet in each of the stitch. So continue this till the end of this row, and since the previous row had 18 double crochets, this row will also have 18 double crochets. So here we have reached the end of this row, and we are working on the other loop of the stitch. This is the last double crochet, and we are going to chain one and turn. So this next row, as usual, we are going to decrease the first stitch. So insert into the first stitch and then pull through the first 2 loops, insert into the next stitch, pull through the first 2 loops, and then pull through the next 2 loops. So here we have decreased one. Then make 1 double crochet in the next 14 stitches. Just make sure to leave the we have to make a decrease on the last 2 stitches. So continue making the double crochets till you reach the last 2 stitches. So here we have reached the end of this round, and you can see that we have 3 more stitches. So make 1 double crochet, and into the last 2 stitch we are going to make a decrease. So here we are working on a decrease, and pull through these 2 loops and the last 2 loops, and we have made a decrease here. Chain one and turn your work, and this time we're going to work only in the front loop. So we're going to make 3 half double crochets in each of the stitches, and we are working only in the front loop for this row. So since in the previous row for the frill we had worked on the back loop, so this time we are going to work on the front loop, or you can just make sure that the frills are on the same side. So continue making 3 half double crochets on each of the stitches. So we are almost at the end of this row, and into the front loop of the last 2 stitches also we are going to make 3 half double crochets on each of the stitch. So this is the last stitch, and now we are going to chain 1 and turn our work. And you can see so far we have completed 3 rows of frills, and we'll be repeating the same pattern, and you can see that it will form a cone shape as we go on decreasing the rows. So keep on decreasing until you are left only with 6 stitches. So here we have reached to a stage where we are only left with 6 stitches. So after that we are going to chain 1 and turn our work, and we're going to decrease the first 2 stitches. So insert into the first stitch, pull through the first 2 loops, insert into the next stitch and pull through the first 2 loops, and then into the next 2 loops. So here we have decreased a stitch. So we'll be making 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches. So 1 double crochet here and 1 double crochet in the next stitch. We are left with 2 more stitches, and the last 2 stitches will be decreasing again. So here we're decreasing the last 2 stitches, and you can see here we have converted this 2 stitches into 1. So chain 1 and turn your work, and here too into the front loop alone we are going to make 3 half double crochets in each of the stitches. So this is the last row of frills that we will be adding for this Christmas tree. So we are making 3 half double crochets on each of the stitch, that too only in the front loop. So chain 1 and turn your work at the end of the row, and after this we will not be adding any more frills. So into the other loop that is available we are going to make 1 double crochet on each of those loops. So we are left so we'll be left with 4 double crochets because there are 4 loops available. So this is the second double crochet, the third double crochet, and the fourth. So we are going to chain 1 and turn our work, and then we are going to decrease again. So since we have 4 stitches we are going to make 2 decreases. So the first 2 stitches we are going to make 1 decrease, and the last 2 stitches again we are going to make 1 more decrease. So by the end of this round now we will be left with only 2 double crochets. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work, and since we have only 2 double crochets left we are just going to make 1 decrease. So insert a hook into first stitch, pull through 2 loops, insert the hook into the next stitch and pull through first 2 loops and the second 2 loops. So here we have reached a pointy end, and after this we are going to make a chain of 10. So this chain of 10 is optional. This chain of 10 we are going to stitch it back to the same stitch. We're going to slip stitch back into the same stitch. So at the back side you'll find these 2 loops available. You're going to slip stitch into this. So this chain of 10 here can be used as a hanging loop. You can use this loop to hang your Christmas tree to any hooks in your wall or over the fridge, anywhere that you would like to display your Christmas tree. So we have almost completed the tree part of our pattern. So you can adjust the frills, and you can see there are these tail yarns hanging out. So just use a smaller hook or a needle to crochet or stitch in the tail yarns into the existing stitches. So there is another tail yarn at the bottom. Do the same with this tail yarn also, and once you have pulled it through a few stitches you can trim it off. So now the next thing we're going to work on is a very simple star pattern. So to make the star we start off by making a magic ring. And then we will chain 1. After that we can take out the magic ring, and into this magic ring we are going to work our pattern. So the pattern will be 1 single crochet followed by 1 double crochet, followed by a chain of 3, chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, followed by another double crochet. So we will repeat this 5 times to get 5 edges. So again we are going to repeat it. We are going to make first 1 single crochet, one double crochet, chain of 3 and one more double crochet. So repeat this pattern overall of 5 times so that we have 5 edges. So once we reach the last edge and we have completed the last double crochet, we are going to make a slip stitch into the first stitch, that is the first single crochet that we started off with. So we are going to make a slip stitch there, and to secure it better we are going to we're going to first close the magic ring. So the center part we are going to pull it as tight as possible so that the hole in the center is no longer visible. And for the stitch we are going to chain 1 and then trim off the yarn. Chain 1, pull it tightly and then trim off the yarn. So here we have two tail yarns, so the center tail yarn we can trim it off, and the other tail yarn we can crochet or use a needle and stitch it into the existing stitches and then trim off any extra yarn. So the edges of the star we can shape it by pressing it to make a pointy edge, and here our star is ready. Now the star will be adding it to the top of the tree. Now we'll be working on the tree trunk. The tree trunk is a very simple pattern. We're just going to make a slip knot and then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then we are going to make one single crochet on the second last stitch. So that is, we skip one stitch at the end and into the next stitch we are going to make one single crochet. So into each of the stitches we are going to make one single crochet. So by the end of the row we will have a total of 4 single crochets. So for this pattern it's very simple. We are just going to make one single crochets on each of the stitches. So at the end of the row, chain 1 and turn, and then again make one single crochet on each of the stitch. So we will repeat this pattern, or we'll repeat this, we'll make a total of 4 rows. If you want the trunk to be a bit more longer, you can add additional rows. So I have made a total of 5 rows. So at the end of the 5th row, chain 1 and leave a long tail yarn and then trim it off. So put the tail yarn into a needle and then we take our tree applique and we count 8 stitches, and into the 9th stitch we are going to start stitching our tree trunk. So this tree trunk has 4 stitches, so we will be stitching them into the 4 stitches of the tree. So on either side of the tree trunk there will be 8 stitches on either side of it. So there is no right or wrong way of doing this. Just stitch it in such a way that it is secure, and then put a knot and trim off the yarn. And the tail yarn, any extra tail yarn that hangs out, you can stitch or crochet it into the existing stitches and then trim it off. So here you can see that our tree trunk is ready. We are going to stitch the star to the top of the tree. So for this I'm using a normal needle and a yarn and stitching it to the tree. So I'm stitching it at the top part where we have not made any more frills and we have left some empty space. So this is the part where we add the star, and as you can see our Christmas tree here is ready. You can make them in a number of colors: white, red, green, any Christmassy color will look beautiful. So here you can see I've added one last row of red, and here I've added some small beads. So you can add any kind of decoration or any other add-ons to it to make it look more beautiful. And I hope you like this video. Please do subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell icon for notification, and give me a thumbs up. Thank you everyone for watching, and have a great day.